master of himself. This dough, a master of himself. Teach a man every day how to become masters of themselves. Hey, fellas, beware of the surface, man. We got to beware of this surface shit out here, man. Because a lot of the shit that these motherfuckers on and a lot of the time that they own is some surface level type of shit. So, we got to be aware of this shit, man. You can't be so trusting of the things that we see on the surface nowadays, man. Motherfuckers, man, is deeper than what you think they is, man. This world ain't what you think it is. Stop. Go. Hey, listen, though. Even though people display their shallowness every day, man, everything in the world, man, is really, everything in life is quite deep. Honestly. You know, we see the shallow things of life, how people treat other people, you know, how they treat their children, how they treat their family members. You know, we see the shallowness of life. However, everything is quite deep. Nothing ain't that shallow as what you think it is. So beware of the surface. Like I said, you got to think of this shit like, you got to think of density and volume, man, as containers. Because all this shit like density and volume, bro. And you got to think of these things like containers. And why I say containers? Because what do you do with a container? You put something in it, right? And that's the same thing. And our vessels is no different than a container that houses energy. You know, so density, volume, your vessel, they all can be measured on how much energy is housed in them. They all can be looked at as containers. So, deep containers at that. Some of us deep containers are good experiences. Good childhood, good past, right upbringing. And then on the contrast, some of us deeply rooted in past trauma. You hear me? I'm talking about the shit so damn deep, the past trauma so deep that if it was a garden, bro, you would be like this big, beautiful tree outwardly, big, giant, beautiful tree outwardly. But inwardly, ugly than a motherfucker, bro. Hollow as shit. Have you ever seen a tree that was hollow as shit on the inside? That's how some of these motherfuckers is. Even though the tree is a big container, it's a big vessel that can house a lot of good energy. On the inside of this tree, for some reason, it's hollowed the fuck out. Huh? So, fellas, this is something that we got to understand. We got to be aware of what's going on this surface, man, and pay attention. So, we're going to go to a quick video real quick, and then we're going to continue to build.
Alcoholic discovered alcohol when they were teenagers. When we're very, very young, the only approval we need is the approval of our parents. And as we go through adolescence, we make this transition where we now need the approval of our peers. What's happening is because we're allowing unfettered access to these dopamine-producing devices and media, too many kids don't know how to form deep, meaningful relationships. Their words, not mine. They will admit that many of their friendships are superficial. They will admit that they don't count on their friends, they don't rely on their friends, they have fun with their friends, but they also know that their friends will cancel on them if something better comes along, because they never practice the skill set, and worse, they don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. So when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they're not turning to a person, they're turning to social media, they're turning to these things which offer temporary relief. Alcohol is not bad, too much alcohol is bad. Gambling is fun, too much gambling is dangerous. Right? There's nothing wrong with social media and cell phones. It's the imbalance.
We in a time right now to where men don't love themselves. It just is what it is. It ain't no not loving themselves enough. just period, not love themselves. We're in a time where men tricking and on these social sites and just having their energy spread it thin to where their vessels are empty. So now you're seeing a bunch of depleted men, no life force, no substance, no sense of self, no self-love, no self-respect. I know you don't love yourself because how you treat yourself, how you carry yourself, how you allow other people to treat you. We can tell that you're not loving on yourself correctly. And thus as men, the problem is we talk about this all the time. You have to have grit. That grit is the bite down in you. That's that bite down, that wolf in you. You hear me? That's that pit bull in you, that bite down. You have to have that grit. That grit is what's going to get you up every day and get you to fucking working out. That grit is what's going to get you in the motherfucking shop so you can make you some money. That grit is what's going to push you as a man. And us as men, we have to develop this. Developing is something that happens. It's a process. It has to be worked on. A craft has to be worked on every day. I'm trying to get better at these videos, y'all. Working on them every day. Have to perfect our crafts. As men, we have to have grit. So, everybody can tell shit that on the inside it's shallow in your ass too. Huh? But your nature is deeply rooted in God. What is the problem? It's like an oxymoron. Huh? You shallow as fuck, but your nature is rooted deeply in God. You a deep container. A dense container. With massive volume. Huh? Fellas, I don't know what's going on and what we doing, but that shit gotta stop, man. This is why we talk about retaining. Cause the shit has to stop, man. At the end of the day, sometimes, man, as men, you're gonna have to put your head down. Put your head down and keep pushing forward. Sometimes you gotta put the motherfucking silencer on and stick to your guns. As men, it's time to start sticking to our guns. Because at the end of the day, fellas, I'm gonna tell you something. And this one thing that is a fact. If you don't stick to your guns, and you don't beware of the surface, you're gonna find yourself out in the desert. And what you think is your oasis, will end up being your mirage. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your seed. This doe, a master of himself. Travel wise.